Welcome back to our channel, where we dive deep into the most hidden corners of Genoa City. Today is a thrilling day to unravel the darkest mysteries of our favorite families. Grab a cup of coffee, lean in close, and let us explore a secret so heavy it threatens to shatter everything. Did you know that the deepest, most agonizing scars are often the ones we cannot see with the naked eye? Following the catastrophic events in the Las Vegas bunker, the Newman family has been desperately trying to piece their shattered lives back together. But something that few people notice is the lingering, suffocating silence that follows a trauma of that magnitude. Noah Newman, a young man who has always tried to find the light in the darkness, genuinely thought the nightmare was over. He believed that returning to the familiar embrace of Genoa City would wash away the ash, the blood, and the sheer terror of Matt Clark's explosive trap. But trauma does not just disappear when you cross state lines. It hides in the darkest corners of your mind, waiting for the perfect, most vulnerable moment to strike. And this is the part that kept me awake at night, the terrifying realization that the true horror wasn't the bomb itself, but the dark, festering secrets forged in its fiery aftermath. Let us walk quietly into Noah's bedroom, a space that should be a sanctuary of peace and love. Noah is systematically taking out clothes from his luggage, trying to smooth out the wrinkles, trying to erase the acrid scent of smoke and fear that still clings desperately to the fabric. Have you ever noticed how the smallest, most ordinary actions can suddenly become the trigger for a massive psychological collapse? As Noah reaches into the hidden, zip depths of the suitcase, his fingers brush against something stiff, something entirely out of place. It is a shirt, but not just any shirt. It is the exact garment Sienna wore on that terrifying night. And as he slowly pulls it into the harsh light of the room, the horrifying truth reveals itself in the form of dark, rusted, completely dried blood. Can you even begin to imagine the sheer, paralyzing terror that must have coursed through Noah's veins at that exact second? The rust-colored stains on the fabric are not just minor spots. They are violent, chaotic smears that tell a gruesome story of a brutal physical struggle. This was the visceral, undeniable evidence of life and death. Noah's breath catches sharply in his throat. His mind, which had been desperately trying to compartmentalize the trauma of the bunker, is suddenly flooded with the overwhelming sensory overload of that night. He feels the blistering heat of the flames, tastes the metallic tang of fear, and hears the deafening roar of the explosion all over again. He holds the fabric as if it is a cursed artifact, his hands trembling uncontrollably. Something that few people notice about Noah is his inherent gentleness. He is an artist, a man who loves deeply, not a soldier accustomed to the grotesque realities of murder. And then, the bedroom door slowly opens. Sienna steps into the room, her eyes landing immediately on the blood-stained shirt clutched tightly in Noah's shaking hands. Did you know that the human face can shatter like fragile glass? In that singular, agonizing moment, the carefully constructed, heroic facade that Sienna had been wearing since they left the Nevada desert completely crumbles. The confident woman who supposedly saved the Newmans vanishes into thin air, replaced by a terrified, haunted soul who looks like she has seen a ghost. The silence in the room becomes deafening, a heavy, suffocating weight that presses down on both of them. We, the viewers, are holding our breath, completely addicted to the raw, unfiltered tension radiating from the screen, knowing that their lives are about to change forever. I killed him. The words tear from Sienna's throat, not as a quiet whisper, but as a guttural, agonizing scream. She collapses to her knees, the immense weight of her secret finally breaking her physical form. She wails, a sound of pure, unadulterated anguish that echoes chillingly off the walls of the Newman compound. She confesses, through violent, choking sobs, that she took Matt Clark's life with her own hands. She explains, her voice trembling with hysteria, that she did it to stop him from detonating the bomb, a desperate, final act of violence to save the man she loves and his family. But, as she cries out in pure despair, it was too late to stop the explosion. The bomb went off anyway, leaving her with the blood of a monster permanently stained on her hands and a soul darkened by the ultimate sin of taking a human life. And this is the part that kept me awake at night, replaying the dramatic scene over and over in my mind, the sheer, tragic irony of her confession. Sienna, a woman whose brother died a tragic, senseless death from a drug overdose, a woman who has known the darkest sides of humanity, was forced to become a killer to protect the light she found in Noah. She weeps uncontrollably, her tears falling onto the hardwood floor, as she reveals the excruciating, invisible toll this violent act has taken on her soul. She has been carrying this crushing burden entirely alone, forcing a smile for Noah, eagerly planning their future with the Shadow Room. All while the ghost of her actions was eating her alive from the inside out. It is a masterful display of psychological torture, and as fans, we simply cannot look away from the screen. Noah is completely paralyzed by the horrific revelation. How do you look at the woman you love, the woman you thought you knew intimately, and reconcile her beautiful face with the image of a cold-blooded murderer? He sees her on the floor, broken, small, and trembling, and the harsh reality of her sacrifice hits him like a physical blow to the chest. She didn't just risk her physical life, she sacrificed her morality, her innocence, her very soul to ensure he and his family survived the wrath of Matt Clark. The magnitude of that kind of desperate love is terrifying. It is a dark, twisted romance that pulls us deeper into the narrative. Noah slowly drops the blood-stained shirt, letting it fall like a discarded nightmare, and sinks to the floor beside her. He wraps his arms tightly around her shaking frame, pulling her against his chest, trying to physically absorb her immense pain. "I've got you," Noah whispers into her hair, but his own voice is trembling with unspeakable fear. He comforts her, stroking her back, rocking her back and forth as she cries uncontrollably into his shoulder. But something that few people notice in this tender, heartbreaking moment of intimacy is the look in Noah's eyes as he stares over her shoulder. It is not just deep compassion, it is pure, unadulterated terror. He is holding a killer in his arms. Yes, Matt Clark was a monster, a sadistic psychopath who tortured his parents, drove his father Nick to severe drug addiction, and almost killed his uncle Adam. But the physical act of taking a human life crosses a massive moral boundary that Noah, despite the ruthless Newman blood running through his veins, has always shied away from. The blood on that shirt feels like a permanent, toxic stain on their future. As they sit there on the floor, clinging to each other like survivors of a shipwreck, the shadows of the room seem to lengthen and close in on them. Noah's mind begins to spiral into a dark, endless abyss of terrifying what-ifs. If Matt is truly dead by her hand, what does that make them? Accomplices, co-conspirators in a fatal cover-up. Noah fears that their life in Genoa City, the fresh start they so desperately craved and fought for, will be forever haunted by this blood-soaked secret. How can they open a nightclub? How can they celebrate life, music, and joy, when the very foundation of their survival is built on the corpse of a murdered man? The guilt begins to gnaw at Noah's conscience, a toxic seed planted deep in the fertile soil of his anxiety. He is terrified that his own moral compass will not be able to withstand the magnetic pull of this dark truth. Did you know that the ghosts of Genoa City never truly rest? Noah is acutely, painfully aware of his family's dark history. He knows exactly what buried secrets do to people. He has seen his father, Nick, driven to the absolute brink of destruction. He has seen his mother, Sharon, battle severe, crippling PTSD, constantly looking over her shoulder. And now, he is holding his own trauma, his own dark, bloody secret, right in his arms. He worries that the guilt will slowly but surely poison their relationship. Every time he looks at Sienna's hands, will he see the woman he loves, or will he see the blood of his enemy? Will he hear Matt Clark's final, gasping breath in the silence of the night? This is the psychological brilliance of the young, and the restless. It forces us to confront the darkest corners of the human condition. But here is the massive, earth-shattering secret that makes this storyline so incredibly addictive, the twist that makes our hearts race. Lean in closer, because this is the part that changes the entire landscape of Genoa City. We, the devoted viewers who analyze every frame and read every spoiler, know something that poor, traumatized Noah does not. We know the absolute truth hidden beneath Sienna's agonizing, hysterical tears. Sienna is lying. Yes, you heard me right. The confession that is currently tearing Noah's heart into a million pieces, the confession that is breaking her apart, is a fabricated narrative. The brain-active data and the timeline leaks have revealed a truth far more sinister than a simple murder. Matt Clark is not dead. He is alive, lurking in the shadows. And this is the part that kept me awake at night, shivering with anticipation and dread. Sienna did not kill Matt Clark. She made a terrifying, desperate deal with the devil himself. To save Noah, Sharon, Nick, and Adam from total, fiery annihilation in that bunker, she agreed to help Matt fake his own death. The blood on that shirt. It is part of the theatrical, gruesome illusion Matt orchestrated to convince the Newmans that the threat was permanently neutralized. Sienna is bound by a blood-soaked pact with a living psychopath. She is crying not because she took a life, but because she sold her soul to a monster who is still out there, waiting for the perfect moment to strike again. Her tears are tears of absolute, paralyzing fear of what she has unleashed upon the man she is currently holding so tightly. Can you even begin to imagine the catastrophic, nuclear fallout when Noah finally discovers this truth? He is currently struggling with every fiber of his being to accept her as a killer, but how will he react when he realizes she is a traitor? That she looked him directly in the eyes, saw his trauma, and lied about the safety of his family, that she left them completely vulnerable to a predator who is merely biding his time. This lie is a ticking time bomb, and waiting patiently in the wings, watching this relationship crumble from the inside out, is Audra Charles. Oh, Audra. She is highly perceptive, coldly calculating, and fiercely predatory. She can already smell the blood in the water. She knows that Sienna and Noah's relationship is built on a fragile foundation of deceit, and the moment this massive deception is exposed, Audra will be there to claim Noah's shattered heart. The complex web of lies, drama, and psychological manipulation is woven so tightly around these characters that we are completely ensnared. We watch Noah comfort Sienna, both of them trapped in a suffocating prison of deceit, and we cannot help but crave more. We are addicted to the pain, the drama, the inevitable, earth-shattering explosion that will rock Genoa City to its absolute core. How long can Sienna maintain this agonizing facade before she breaks? How long before the ghost of Matt Clark steps out of the shadows and turns their lives into a living hell once again? The anticipation is agonizing, yet utterly exhilarating. This is soap opera storytelling at its absolute finest, a masterclass in psychological tension that leaves us breathless, whispering wild theories in the dark, and desperately waiting for the next shocking revelation.